All right, so title of this talk is Co-Education, the Human-AI Collaboration Framework for Teaching and Learning. And I'd like to give a little bit of a rationale for why I chose such a title. I intentionally pushed myself to be slightly provocative. I think the term co-education carries with it a number of things that are, a number of things that are really up for debate. Um, is is co-education something that we want between human and AI interactions? One second, Safia, 1 second. Yep, I did see. So I'm going to be getting interrupted probably by my daughters at some point as well. Um, but the place that I want to start is by saying that, make an acknowledgement of what AI is in terms of regarding education. So AI, it really is an arrival technology. It was not something that came to our schools, to our universities, to our classrooms through careful planning. It ChatGPT was released, generative AI was released, and suddenly it showed up on people's, our students were using it. We began using it. Administrators began using it. It was not careful planning and purpose that brought AI technologies into our learning, our learning environments. It arrived. And an arrival technology, as Eric Klopfer and a number of other authors, former MIT colleagues, wrote in a piece for a generative AI publication. It was a couple of months ago. That that arrival technologies come with them certain dangers. So you could choose to ignore them, but that's at your own peril. And AI seems to be one of those types of technologies that can't be ignored for the potential upside, but also for the potential harms. And that's actually kind of the place that I'd like to spend the next few minutes presenting. And where I'd like to go with it is to ask you a question, which is your AI teaching and learning, your AI education, a glass half full or half empty? Do you find yourself to be a pessimist or an optimist? My sense is that if you're listening to this talk, if you're part of this member community, that you're probably on the optimistic side, but maybe you're like me with a heavy dose of pessimism and caution. Um, and so I just want to spend a few minutes laying out those two different varying visions, this utopian vision, carrying it out to the extreme, and this pessimistic, apocalyptic vision of what AI will bring to our systems of education. So this optimistic scenario, this golden age for human teaching and learning, I think one of the things is it's characterized by transformative educational experiences. People who advocate for this as a vision that AI will bring about this golden age, they see that there'll be enhanced personalization, customization for all types of learners, tailoring learning experiences to individual student needs, their preferences, their paces, and that they all get support that they need customized. Adaptive learning platforms adjust difficulty and type of content, really finally achieving this thing that we've all talked about and studied and advocated for decades around differentiation and personalization of learning. This becomes a reality. Efficient and effective teaching, so that AI automates all the routine administrative tasks, and it frees the teacher to be able to focus on human interaction and the things that are really important to student learning. So they get AI powered analytics and get with insights to guide teacher performance. Innovative pedagogical methods is that the idea that then we're unleashed to invent new ways, cutting edge ways to achieve the learning outcomes that we want through a variety of methods that already exist, that have been done in various ways. But all of these will be transformed, and new ones will be invented. Everything from flipped classrooms and blended learning to project-based learning will become enhanced by AI. They advocate for improved student outcomes. So this idea that AI is going to bring about a golden age where all student like the student outcomes that we've all been working for through our instruction, assignments, curriculum design, all of that stuff. All of that will be achieved in this optimistic outlook that we'll be able to have early identification and support, that it can identify learning gaps. It can it can predict where students might trip up, or if they make these mistakes down the road, they're going to make those. So they need an intervention, around that. Personalized tutoring and AI driven mentoring provide the additional academic success. It's increased engagement and motivation that AI is going to achieve great things because students are going to be so engaged. The learning experience will be so great through AI that they'll be increasingly engaged and motivated for their own learning, and do that through different types of learning experiences around like gamification. Not really the focus or bringing it into other parts of the talk, but virtual and augmented reality, additionally powered by AI. Making complex subjects more accessible and helping students achieve greater outcomes. Additionally, they talk about AI-powered the ability for artificial intelligence to increase global and inclusive access. So people with different types of learning disabilities, differently abled learners, will be able to receive the customized support and diagnostics that can help then create customized interventions that help students along to achieve those improved student learning outcomes. Another part they talk about is preparation for the future. So by incorporating AI into the learning experience, and this will help further prepare students for the workforce or the digital and AI-driven future, by focusing on digital literacy, AI skills, and then increasingly an ability to think through the ethical the different ethical implications and responsible use of AI tools. Lastly, it's again ethical and sustainable development, is that it's fair and equitable. So AI use in educational scenarios will be characterized by fair and equitable education, so that it can identify biases, it promotes fair treatment, and then there are ethical guidelines and frameworks that teachers, schools, governments can use to be able to ensure that there's transparency in the ways in which AI is used, data collection, and such, that can achieve accountability in educational settings that we can feel comfortable with. And then lastly, sustainable and scalable solutions, so that the idea that we can do something about the AI-driven environmental impacts that are currently happening. So in this future scenario, we've solved this problem and made it more sustainable, and that the AI solutions are high quality and scalable, to make sure that in places actually such as where I am, that we're able to make it more accessible to people in contexts all over the place, regardless of their resources. So that's the golden age. That's the utopian vision for AI. It unleashes this like new age of human flourishing. The dystopian vision, however, and I thought this was a pretty fitting picture, with people sitting in front of screens all in rows, cameras monitoring, AI monitoring people's behaviors and so forth. And so this is, I think, a decent representation of what pessimists see as the future. So human teaching and learning dumpster fire is what I was calling it. And so what they see really is teacher replacement and job loss, that introduction of AI agents will lead to like devaluing the teacher, through by relying heavily on artificial intelligence, that AI will lead to significant job loss through like streamlining and automation of not only tasks, but of pedagogy, erosion of human interaction. So instead of in that vision of the utopia that where AI allows teachers to bond with their students and really frees teachers from the administrative tasks, these administrative burdens. This increases administrative burdens and actually doesn't allow for doesn't facilitate or allow for human interaction. The AI might not be able to provide the quote unquote empathy and understanding that teachers offer. I kept that in there. I actually considered deleting it. But I kept it in for a number of reasons, because we are seeing that both corporations as well as research labs across the world, really, but at least the ones that I'm aware of in the United States are trying to, develop AI agents that are empathic or are, be able to understand humans, to be able to customize, personalize their interactions. And so this, if you read some of the work of like Sherry Turkle, she calls this, artificial intimacy. So the rise of artificial intimacy, and I think that is sort of part of it. And I actually leave it in there as this potential in this pessimistic or dystopian vision as a potential future for us to consider. Dependence on technology, and that nobody can function without the use of their AI bot. We're outsourcing our critical thinking and some of maybe the expertise that we could have developed, we haven't, because we've bypassed cognition through the use of artificially intelligent bots. Data privacy and security, they see an extensive use of AI where data is not private and not secure. There's misuse and breaches of data that really lead to significant personal and societal risks. Bias and inequity, that the biases that currently exist, or perhaps we invent new ones, that the AI systems continue to perpetuate. Many of the inequities that we currently have in various systems around the world, including the United States, Morocco, anywhere you go, that it could continue to widen the gap between the haves and have-nots as well. And then last, here with its quality of AI education, that it's just not going to be a good quality education, so that, that it's dumbed down or streamlined, that it's about efficiencies and achieving student outcomes instead of really an exploration of big problems and using it as a problem-solving tool. So this idea that it also might not be able to perform in the way that is hoped around personalization, that it becomes yet another machine that captures efficiencies and processes, but is not one that leads to really high quality education. Loss of creativity, that instead of using AI in ways that expand or empower, that it's completely outsourced to the AI, and that there becomes this, again, automated, structured, algorithm-driven way of finding results rather than developing original thoughts and solutions. Ethical and moral concerns, already touched on that a little bit, but that the AI of education in this sense, leads to the outsourcing of decisions and raising outsourcing of decisions in ways that are not consistent with ethical and moral standards. Diminished role of teachers, that teachers are completely marginalized, and it's, they're now beholden to the bot, instead of having it be sort of teacher-led. And economic and resource disparities, again, that implementing AI technologies won't be uniform. People that can afford more will be able to get more. And so others would be left behind in this digital divide. Okay, so that's, I think, broadly, those are the two utopian and dystopian visions. I went into a lot of detail there, but I want to kind of sketch that space, because I've been thinking about ways in which that we can ensure that that we achieve more of the utopian vision than we do of an apocalyptic one. And I think one of the ways that we really need to is it started, I'm not the first person to realize this. There's a number of frameworks that are emerging on various topics by various organizations, everything from, frameworks around AI literacy, what people should know in order to be AI literate, and so forth. I think, though, that we need to actually, if we're talking about this utopian vision around human-AI collaboration in the classroom for education, it's being done in other types of workforces. The educator workforce also needs to have some understanding of the way, of the ways in which humans and AIs can collaborate, or in the provocative way that I wrote the title, co-educate, if that's something that we choose. So there are really three different ways that I think there are three different parts of this framework, main headers, which is the first one is AI as assistant. So this is probably the way in which many of you are already currently using AI in the classroom, if you're teaching, or actually using it elsewhere as researchers or administrators. But level one, AI as an assistant, is that AI provides support to the teacher by handling administrative repetitive tasks. So this really is like the human is front and center, driving this process, this collaboration. And it outsources the handling of administrative tasks and other repetitive tasks that really kind of bog down or are currently part of the educator process. So a teacher's role is that the teacher designs lessons plans, delivers content, engages with students directly, and utilizes AI for tasks like grading and attendance. AI's role is that it automates administrative tasks, provides instant feedback on assessments, and offers data analytics. The benefits are that in this scenario, AI is an assistant. It reduces teachers' workload. This would allow for time for more personalized student interactions and creative lesson planning. And then the flexibility piece here is that teachers can choose the extent to which AI is involved, switching to higher levels, which I'll talk about later as needed. But then, the idea is that you have to ensure that AI's actions are clear, they're understandable, which is still a problem in some of the generative AI, or most, I should say, of the generative AI software solutions. But the ways in which it's used are they're sort of, really clear. The boundaries are clear. So an example of it would be around, drafting an email to parents. Maybe it's one way of, you can type in your prompt and it drafts an email that you send to parents that you probably should check to make sure is okay. Or differentiating some of using AI for summarizing student work or something like that. Okay, but human-AI co-educators is taking it to the next level. And the idea is that AI is your collaboration partner. So this is a higher level of engagement, where it's not simply doing 100% as told, but that you are using, the framework is that you're using AI to collaborate in creating and delivering the educational content, and then providing tailored feedback. The teacher's role is that it co-designs lessons with the AI. It integrates AI-generated content and provides nuanced guidance and support to students. AI's role is that it generates content, creates adaptive learning paths, and offers insights based on student data to personalized teaching. So this would be an example of drafting. Maybe you co-draft a lesson plan with assignments, and then you use AI to help you draft some of the learning assessments, and you want to maybe differentiate some of the materials that you're doing based on students' prior their prior achievement on previous assessments. So the benefits of it is that it enhances educational experience by leveraging AI's data processing and content creation capabilities. Teachers and students can switch between this level and others as needed. And this is where I got a little free, but I really think if I had to put an asterisk by one of the things that I'd like to focus on next, it's really looking into affordances. So of the technology tools that are used, the artificial intelligence applications that are used, and how these user-friendly interfaces help educators and students both understand AI's role and sort of what it's doing. And lastly, it's really so of the third level that it's autonomous AI teaching and learning agents. And this is sort of AI is in the driver's seat. So AI takes on a more autonomous role. It drives significant parts of the learning experience, and there's minimal teacher intervention. The teacher then oversees AI's performance. It intervenes when necessary and focuses on mentoring and addressing higher order thinking skills. So AI conducts most of the instruction. It adapts learning materials in real time, provides continuous assessment and feedback. The human steps in, the human teacher steps in to ensure the performance of AI is good, and then intervenes if it's not. If there's a need to for the teacher to mentor or to do something along the lines of bringing out higher order thinking skills. So the benefits are my daughter is staring at me laughing. So the benefits are that it maximizes scalability and of education, allowing personalized learning experiences through the AI. Teachers then focus on deeper engagement with students, and there's a seamless transition between levels based on real-time needs and feedback. Clear communication and interface design ensure that trust and understanding of AI's action. So you can see that those are the three levels, right? So AI suggests, AI as the assistant, AI as the collaborator, and then AI as the autonomous agent that a teacher then makes sure is performing. So what I did here in this one is that I just tried to lay out some of the, to summarize some of the ways in which that they would interact at the different levels, what those potential, and I try to think through some of the possible negative impacts. So AI suggests, so course design and content creation, AI suggests the materials, it automates quiz creation, and it's based on the teacher provided content. So the teacher provides the content and it generates those things as its assistant. AI collaborates with the teacher in level 2 and to create dynamic lessons that adjust in real time. In level 3, AI is autonomous and it generates and updates curriculum, and it continuously, for continuous learning and adaptation. Negative impacts in level 1, teachers might rely too heavily on AI generated content, reducing their own creativity. Also, maybe there's some administrative tasks that are really important to being a great teacher. If you're outsourcing this to AI, maybe that's actually going to negatively impact your performance as a teacher. In level 2, some of the negative impacts could be misalignment between the AI and the teacher's vision. And so it could lead to kind of ineffective lesson plans. The negative impacts in level 3 is that, AI generated curriculum might not align with the first needs of all students, so there's a danger in that. I think of it here actually. I'm in an area where it's largely Berber, an ethnic minority in Morocco, and they speak a different language, and they don't speak Arabic, and you know, AI generated curriculum might not meet the needs of these learners because it's actually not in the training data sets anywhere. And so that's something to consider. So student interaction and feedback is that AI provides, so in level 1, AI provides instant feedback on assignments and quizzes. In level 2, AI engages in interactive learning sessions with students, providing hints and guidance. And level 3, AI drives most student interactions, delivering content and assessing understanding. Negative impacts there is that in 1, we see like instant feedback might like lack depth and personalization needed for student growth, the same way that maybe a human teacher might do. Level 2, it could be over reliance on AI for guidance that could reduce the development of student-teacher relationships. In level 3, it could be that excessive AI interaction could reduce opportunities for human connection and mentoring. So that, AI in the driver's seat might mean that that actually you're interacting with a bot way more than you're interacting with a human. And that has a negative impact, which I would imagine. Assessment and evaluation, which the other speaker will be talking a lot. I'm very interested to see his talk on AI-driven assessment. But AI handles the grading of multiple choice and short answer questions, tracks progress. In level 1, level 2, AI collaborates in the designing of the adaptive assessments, providing detailed analytics. And then, and as well as feedback for instruction to be tailored. And then AI autonomously assesses student work using advanced techniques, continually updating learning paths. So the negative impacts of the assessment and evaluation at the 3 levels is that AI grading might lack nuance and understanding that humans could, although, we'll see where that is in another year, but it might, lack the nuance and understanding. In level 2, with the collaboration is that it could be over dependence on AI analytics. It might reduce teachers' own ability to critically assess student performance. That's just a concern. And then a thought of in level 3 is that continuous AI assessment might not fully capture student progress and individual needs, which is again the danger of the autonomous system. So with all that said, and I think I might be a little bit over, I apologize, Rhea, for that. But this is currently a work in progress, and I'm trying to push forward a framework for thinking through the collaborative aspects of human and AI co-education. So teaching and learning in our existing systems, but also what potential future systems could look like and how they might be changed by the ways in which we need to work. So I just would argue there's a need for balancing optimism and caution, which is why I tried to structure this entire thing in terms of utopian visions and dystopian visions. I think the focus needs to be on enhancing human potential. Humans are at the center of this. AI is a tool. So it's a tool that we have to make sure that all the things we know about great learning design, things we continue to learn about what great learning design is, it needs to be front and center. And the point of this is for enhancing human potential, maximizing the chances of human flourishing, addressing ethical and social concerns. So making sure that human flourishing, we're doing it in an ethical way, that it's it's open to everybody, and that we address all of the myriad of problems that I'm probably going to come up in the other talks as well, but that we address those, that human interaction is key. We can't keep the human out of the loop, and so ways in which fostering human bonding and human interaction in this education system, it's tough to imagine a education system that throws that completely out, that's not dystopian. there's a need for continuous professional development because this pace of change is tremendous and will accelerate, not in my mind at least, continue to accelerate, not slow down. There's a need for us as educators to have continuous access to professional development opportunities. Innovation in the techniques that we deliver, deliver learning, needs to continue. We need to continue to rethink as these technologies develop, as we try to work out how we should deploy AI in our classrooms, when we should not. That we continue to look at the types of practices that we have and invent new ones that continue to make our teaching and learning opportunities open to all types of learners, regardless of where they are in the world. And then monitoring and adaptation, for sure. We need to understand what's going on inside the machine, and ensure that we're always making sure that we are enhancing human potential. We are on our way to enhancing human flourishing and achieving those more utopian types of outcomes. But it comes through, I think we can be more certain that we ensure those visions by being pragmatists that are constantly checking. So with that said, I hope my kids do not scream too loudly. I hope that the wind and the birds also did not drown me out, or maybe it should have. And once again, I apologize for not being able to do this live, but I am reachable on LinkedIn and looking forward to lots of questions and engagement, and we'll be monitoring. So thank you very much.